Well, hello YouTube, it's me Fortmaster, and welcome back to another Shayy reaction, and, well, talk about timing on that one. So, if you haven't been following along, I've been reacting to, I guess for lack of a better term, Shayy's series, talking about 10 facts you didn't know about Undertale, or, you know, in every episode. And in the last one I did a reaction to, I specifically said, I don't know when the next episode of this is going to come out. This may be the last one, yada, yada, yada. Because at this point, you know, Shayy was starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel a little bit, trying to find every single little individual thing that was caused by bad programming in Undertale. So, literally, the next day after I post that last video, Shayy releases this. 10 Deltarune secrets you don't know. Thank you. Again, I don't know, like, thinking about it, I don't know what's going to be in this video. And I also don't know if I'm going to be as, well, I'll probably learn just as much, because while Deltarune is fresher in my mind than Undertale, I know there's a lot in Deltarune, and I am famous for looking over, you know, various things, and also the fact I'm not a speedrunner means I don't discover any of these weird glitches that speedrunners find whenever they're trying to break records. So, I mean, I really don't have anything else to say on the topic besides, yay, more Shayy, so I should probably get into this video. So, of course, as always, original video is linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day. And if you like this video or any other video that I make, I'd very much appreciate it if you gave the video a like and subscribe to my channel, because my main goal for this year is to hopefully hit 5,000 subscribers, and at the time of recording, I'm almost 600 subscribers short. So, I mean, it's possible. So yeah, well, out of the way, let's get this thing started then, shall we?
Hey everyone, did you know about the secret eggs that you can obtain in each chapter that you can place down in the world? Or what about the weird route? Oh, you do know about those?
Granted, I had known about the eggs. It took me a long time to find out you could actually place the eggs in the world.
Good. How about some facts you don't know? With the recent announcement of Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 coming in June, I thought it was a good idea to do another unknown facts video. But this time, it's all about Deltarune. While there isn't quite as much to talk about since we only have 2 chapters of this game, there's a lot of things about this game that are not known at all. So today, I'm going to give you guys 10 Deltarune facts that you don't already know. Before we start, I just hit 350,000 subscribers and I'm trying to hit 400,000 by the end of the year. So if you enjoy the videos I make, subscribing is free and easy and only takes a moment, and it helps me out a lot. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the video.
The original Star
Some of
Walker.
you may know about Deltarune's unused kill animation, where enemies fade away and die instead of just running away. But did you know that since Chapter 2 released, this is technically not unused anymore and is instead tied to the Snowgrave spell? During the weird route, the entire goal of it is to buy the Thorn Ring and unlock the ability to cast the Snowgrave spell. But what you might not know is that the Snowgrave spell that Noelle casts during the route isn't just a cutscene, it's a fully usable spell that works in normal gameplay scenarios if you have it. There have been a few methods of gaining access to this powerful spell in normal gameplay, but most of them have been patched, such as this oversight I made a video on a long time ago, where you could fight a mouse enemy after having aborted the weird route on the Birdly fight. The remaining method is to take advantage of the most powerful glitch in the entire game, the door overflow glitch. Talking to KK here presents you with the option to buy 400 bagels, which has a funny fake Earthbound-esque game over cutaway black screen joke where your party is jokingly crushed by 400 bagels. By interacting with this empty door frame here just a few frames after selecting the 400 bagels option and returning from the black screen, you can gain text storage on the door object and have full movement with the door text still up on the screen. This allows you to actually use the door before you're supposed to be able to, which lets you skip straight to the mansion, which is huge for any percent speedruns of this game. But that's not what we're here for. If you reinitiate the 400 bagels cutscene with the text storage up in just the right way, you can initiate an infinite choicer overflow. This takes advantage of all of Deltarune's choicers, or text boxes that give you a selection choice, being all laid out next to each other in the code, and you can navigate through pretty much every choicer in the entire game, including the one to purchase the Thorn Ring. Before doing this, you'll need to refight and repeatedly spare this Virokun enemy to the right and amass more than 1997 Dark Dollars to be able to actually afford the purchase.
Okay. So, okay, so in previous videos, I've talked about kind of like trying to figure out what these like glitches would be like in real life, or like what these like facts or secrets would be like in universe if they were, you know, actually a thing. Like, you know, Frisk leaving a room to re-enter, to reset a timer so that, you know, they go away, then everybody comes out of the shadows, then Frisk just appears again. Just a surprise. But now I'm just trying to list, because, like, I mean, given that, you know, this in Chapter 2, the Dark World is, you know, very focused on computers, you could potentially say that this hint is, in fact, Chris just hacking into a computer to go through all the stores that there are, in fact, in the world without actually having to be there. I mean, okay, it's a weird one. But again, like, unless you were specifically, you know, going out of your way, like, there's literally, like, no reason to buy the Thorn Ring in a pacifist run.
But once you do, you can grab the Thorn Ring item way before you're supposed to have it. And once you get to the city, you can instantly equip it onto Noelle. Then, freeze everything in the first half of the route, and then once you pass the laser gate, just go fight Birdly and defeat him without using Snowgrave. This gives Noelle the ability to use Snowgrave on any city enemy you want that's left, and it does monstrous damage. But importantly,
really?
It actually kills enemies. They don't run away or get frozen. Instead, they just die. And look, there's the kill animation. This is still technically unused, since you have to do glitches in order to see this.
Yeah, of course.
But it's not just completely unused like it was in Chapter 1. Okay, that was a lot.
Weird.
Let's cover 2 quick Chapter 1 facts for the price of 1. Chapter 2 players may be familiar with the Mercy Meter, a mechanic that was implemented that tracks your total percent towards sparing enemies.
Yeah, I remember.
Some of you also probably know that just simply selecting spare on most enemies will add 5% to the Mercy Meter, and eventually allow you...
Okay, that I didn't know. I mean, I thought spare was basically just passing a turn. Okay.
to spare enemies without doing any axe or pacify strategies. But what you probably didn't know is that this mechanic actually already existed in Chapter 1. While the Mercy Meter does not exist yet, it's functionally just invisible, and the game still counts selecting spare on enemies as progress towards actually making them spareable. You can see here with this Rudin that after just spamming spare enough times, boom, I spared it just like normal. And now for the second Chapter 1 fact.
Again, like that, I didn't even know spare added 5%. So, I mean, like, can you call that like a triple fun fact for the price of 1? I don't know.
There is an unused weapon for Chris called the Trefoil.
Trefoil?
You'll notice that Susie and Ralsei both have 2 extra unlockable weapons alongside their base weapons, the Brave Axe and Devil's Knife, and the Ragger and Dainty Scarf, respectively. But notably, Chris only just gets the Spooky Sword and nothing else, while the Trefoil was supposed to be their second weapon. It's completely functional, gives +4 attack, and also increases money gains by 5%, similar to the Silver Card item in Chapter 2. It even has a Light World item variant in the Lucky Pencil, which has info text and everything. This item seems to have been cut extremely late into development, as it's fully functional and literally could just be plopped into the game right now and would cause no issues.
Maybe it was reduced because of the Silver Card. Like, Toby didn't want you to be able to, like, Toby realized it wasn't a good idea to allow you to double up on the money-making modifier or something? I don't know. Are there, actually, wait, in the code, like, is it possible to double up on any effects now that I'm thinking about it? Maybe just making money was just too powerful. I mean, given, you know, one of the Spamton items you can get later in Chapter 2, maybe that was just it.
In fact, in Chapter 2, Noelle even has funny dialogue if you attempt to equip it onto her, joking about the item being unused. I hope if Chapter 1 ever gets a refresh, the Mercy Meter and Trefoil are both included.
Yeah,
Spamton Neo hides a secret power that you can bring out by getting him really mad at you. How do you accomplish this?
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
Since the initial launch of Chapter 2, it's been possible to perform a powerful exploit in the Spamton Neo fight if you're a keyboard user. Both Z and Enter allow you to shoot, and holding down either can charge your shot up to fire a big shot. But by holding down one of the buttons while spamming the other one, you can fire unlimited big shots as fast as you like.
I'm sorry, you can what? God, I wish I had known that earlier. That would have made the Spamton fight so much easier.
This exploit was picked up on by the dev team, but rather than removing it, they did something way cooler. A variable that tracks whether or not you've used this exploit was introduced, called Funny Cheat, and while initially unused, the next update introduced the Enrage mechanic. By using this Funny Cheat big shot spam exploit, Spamton enters an enraged form where his head becomes red and steaming, and his damage output is increased to monstrous levels. Seriously, he's capable of two-shotting lower defense players in the weird route, and no build in the game can survive more than 2 hits in a row. Additionally, his 5th attack, the Phone Hands, is changed from an easier version to a much harder version. Now, you might think this new added challenge would negatively impact something like speedruns, but the most amazing part of all of this is that the changes here actually made his fight faster. While definitively much harder than before, the charged Phone Hands attack actually has no randomness unlike the easy version, and if you know what you're doing, you can graze it like this. Anyway, check this shit out.
Actually, what's really funny is it sounds like the ticking of the TP. It almost sounds like it's in time with the actual music. I like that.
Oh yeah. As you can see, my TP just went up an immense amount, which enables more uses of cross-slash in the weird route fight, making it end faster. This was a really cool thing of the dev team to do, adding a new challenge for those who want to try taking it on, while rewarding high-level play by enabling a more difficult, but more consistent and faster fight. And this is just the beginning of the based changes the team has made for speedrunners. Okay, so I'm not the best at segues.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Sweet Captain Cakes fight. This fight is pretty long, and was actually even bugged in the original release to have certain attacks last way longer than they were supposed to. But what if I told you there was a way to basically completely skip the fight? The intended progression is that after a few turns of not being able to get anyone to dance together, Susie and Ralsei will unlock the S and R actions and enable you to clear the fight. However, if Chris dies during any of this, Susie will immediately decide to teach herself and Ralsei how to act, and you're able to finish the fight immediately. This, of course, became the new meta strat for speedruns.
I just love it's like Chris is just sitting there in a pile and everyone's just dancing around them.
Deltarune. In an early update to the game, the following cutscene after the fight was changed to have Chris be in their downstate sprite during the entire dance, which is absolutely hilarious. I think it's really cool that speedruns influenced a funny change like this being added, but it gets even better. This strat was really reliant on RNG, as you needed Chris to die in the first attack of the fight, and even if you got them down to be 1 hit away from death, it was a 1 in 3 chance to happen on any given hit. But actually, it's not 1 in 3, it's worse. If Chris is ever about to get downed, the game runs the targeting function a second time, so they would need to be selected for an attack 2 times to actually get hit. This gave you roughly 4 or 5 attempts for a 1 in 9 chance, which was pretty frustrating, especially for people running full game runs where this happened after all of Chapter 1. So, in a completely undocumented change that I bet you didn't know about, the dev team actually put in a back door for us speedrunners. By using Dance All on the first turn on any target except for the top one, Chris is now guaranteed to get hit on every single hit of the first attack. This made the strategy 100% consistent and saved a lot of headaches, and I'm really like to personally thank the dev team for putting this into the game.
So wait, Dance All on all but the first. Huh. Okay. Again, like, okay, what was I saying at the beginning of this video about, like, oh, I don't speedrun, so I don't find all these weird little speedrunning glitches and things that they find trying to break records? I mean, like, at this point, I've kind of lost count, because, well, honestly, I haven't been keeping track, but, like, of, like, how many of these are, like, speedrun related?
Everybody go say, thank you Deltarune devs, in the comments below. They deserve it. Okay, these have all been pretty in-depth facts, so let's do a very simple one. In Chapter 1, the Clover fight can be a bit difficult to deduce, as the correct way to spare isn't immediately clear and requires a bit of thinking. But what you probably didn't know is that on this fight, you can use the manual item in the same way you use the stick on Undertale's dog enemies. Using the manual on turn 1 and then again on turn 2 will instantly fill up the invisible but still there mercy meter, and then all it takes is just a quick spare to finish up the fight.
Wait, really? Like, why? Like, honestly, with the stick thing, I could totally understand that, given that, you know, you're fighting dogs. What about the manual makes it easier to fight this three-handed clover suit card monster?
While we're here in Chapter 1, most of you probably already know about the original Star Walker. By ringing the bell to stop this chase sequence, you'll see the Star Walker run away, and then by going to the left, you can find the original Star Walker chilling out. But what I have basically seen nobody talk about is a secret interaction if you catch the regular Star Walker. Enter the room from the right and have the bird chase you from right to left. Then interact with the bell and immediately chase the Star Walker as it runs off to the right. If you catch up with it and interact with it, you get 40 dark dollars. That's it. But I barely see anybody
Okay, that's really random.
who knows about this interaction at all, so I wanted to put it in here. Okay, it wouldn't be a Shayy video without talking about some nonsense. So you want to see something absolutely ridiculous. You see this window here in Chris's room? Between chapters, it moves by 1 pixel. Obviously, this has huge implications for the lore. Des is the knight, you say? Alvin? The vessel? Fuck that. This window is clearly the night. Or maybe this is the window that Gaster views the world from, and it's secretly a portal to a space between dimensions and— yeah, I have no idea where to go with this bit. Let's just move on to the next fact.
Okay, that's on the same level as, you know, the sign disappearing from Snowden during the genocide route, because, like, something like that, I didn't even imagine that being a separate part of the level, like a separate asset. I thought that was just part of the background artwork that you just had a hitbox run so you didn't walk off up the walls, essentially. Why would the window be separate? Or why did... Or also, seemingly... Or alternatively, why did they make a completely different bedroom that's only difference is the window being a slightly different height? That just seems like more work than it's worth.
At the end of the weird route, you can go visit Noelle in the hospital and view a creepy cutscene where Noelle starts freaking out about the events of her dream. If you've watched my videos for a long time, you might be aware of an alternative dialogue you can get here by having Noelle's silver watch equipped onto Chris.
Wait,
in
really?
fact, I was actually the very first person to ever have gotten footage of this alternative dialogue. I'm even credited in the Weird Route document that floated around back in the day.
Oh,
but what you probably
okay.
didn't know is that there's actually a second secret alternative way this cutscene can play out, by moving Chris during it. You can get Noelle to freak out even more by forcing Chris to move towards her. And if you keep doing it, the cutscene ends and Chris's position in the overworld indicates that you were forcing them to literally back Noelle into a corner in the hallway, which is insanely creepy.
Ugh.
Thankfully, Susie intervenes as usual, and everything proceeds normally from there.
Oh god, I swear, the weird route was already weird and creepy enough. Again, like, just before it was weird, and then, I forget which video it was, but they pointed out the weird, sort of like, forced heteronormative relationships thing that was kind of going on there, which is kind of creepy and weird in itself. And now this, why is the weird route so creepy? It's the weird route, not the creepy route.
Proceeds. I'm funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of the weird route, here's one that I did not know until very recently. During the part where Susie visits Noelle in her room, Chris and Ralsei stand outside, and eventually Ralsei dozes off and falls asleep. However, there is a 1 in 20 chance that Ralsei instead has this alternative pose while falling asleep instead. This has got to be the most insanely strange detail in this entire game.
Okay, that's another one. Again, like, out of this entire series so far, I knew one fact before in the previous Undertale videos. This is the second fact that I already knew. Because, again, Half-Bred Chaos made an entire video about that one sprite. And, again, for those that don't know or haven't seen it, that sprite, while it looks like the one sprite from, you know, Ralsei's dance, it's not. It's actually slightly different. Like, it's a pixel taller or something. It's really weird.
Also in the weird route, there's this room filled up to the brim with the Pippus enemy. In order to get here though, you have to pass through this room with mouse wheel moving at incredibly high speed. However, by simply just opening the menu and then closing the menu, mouse wheel will slow down drastically. This is because mouse wheel speed here is not the default value, and instead set to a higher value when you load the room. Opening the menu pauses time, which is achieved by setting the enemy speeds to 0.
Yeah.
But when you close the menu, it incorrectly uses mouse wheel's default speed instead of the high speed from the room entry.
Okay, what was I saying again about trying to having like fun and thinking about like how like that could actually like work in universe and stuff like that? So I'm almost imagining that it's like Chris is just like, hold up, just telling the like the mouse to wait for a minute. And then when they like finally let them move again, the mouse is just kind of startled and the start of like lazily starts moving normally.
Anyway, once you reach the Pippus room, one of the game's later updates introduced a secret 1 in 100 encounter with a Miss Pippus enemy instead, where she'll be wearing a pink bow. This has no function.
Miss Pippus. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. Just, it is so stupid, but I just love it. Also, the fact the Pippus has a mercy meter. Could you mercy a Pippus? How do you mercy a Pippus?
Hey, cop, you want a Peepers?
Change, and it's just a really funny cosmetic joke.
Okay.
Finally, further into the mansion, there's this hallway with the swatchling enemies running around with pots that you have to dodge. When the game first came out, if you actually were able to interact with the pots, it caused the entire entity to immediately disappear.
Oh.
This had the unintended effect of instantaneously obliterating Swatchling from existence. And here's a clip of me accidentally doing this in my casual playthrough on the game's release day.
Just poof, just gone. The Swatchling shattered like the pot.
What? Dude, that guy just stopped existing.
I showed this trick off during Deltarune's run at Awesome Games Done Quick 2022, and in response, the dev team decided that rather than just patching this exploit out, they'd add a funny animation instead. So now when you do this trick, the Swatchling will now ascend rapidly out of the room rather than just popping out of existence. And it even has a funny sound effect.
Anyway, time to send these guys to the moon. Send them to the dimension opposite of that of the stock market.
And get this, they even added a currently unused variable that tracks this. If you perform this trick, the variable speedrunners get set to the value satiated. God knows, they're gonna do some evil, fucked up nonsense to me in a future chapter using this variable.
And at the end of the day, you literally have nobody to blame but yourself. It's your fault.
Finally, to conclude this video, here's one extra bonus fact that's so terrifying that I saved it for last. In the prison in Chapter 1, you can interact with the place in which the iron bars used to be, and there's funny dialogue for it. However, there's an instance of this exact behavior that went undiscovered in development. In the room in the forest, there's this tree blocking your way, and you have to flip this switch to remove it. But the dialogue for this tree object was never properly removed, and you can interact with the evil phantom invisible tree at all times. What could this mean for the lore? The man who gives you the eggs, he stands behind one of these trees, and now the tree is invisible and has glitchy dialogue. This must be new secret lore. There has to be something here. It has to prove who the knight is somehow. Are these trees in chess? Surely it has something to do with chess theory. Or maybe Toby's trying to tell us that the tree was sent to oblivion, and then it can still be talked to. That means oblivion theory. Oh, wait a minute. This tree is a part of Gaster that... Nah, it's just an oversight.
Yeah, of course. Oh, God. Absolutely beautiful. Honestly, I'm so happy I've watched now all 4 of these videos in such quick succession. Just because, like, it truly... I mean, again, with Undertale and now with Deltarune, it truly does hammer in that, you know, game development is hard. You know, like, so many of these, like, seemingly in both games are just little things that were initially overlooked or forgotten during development. And in Deltarune's case, some of them were actually made into a feature. Oh, God, that was, again, absolutely beautiful. Loved it. And now that I know that, you know, eventually we're going to get more of these Deltarune secret videos, maybe more Undertale secret videos in the future, who knows. I'm very much looking forward to that. So, yeah, of course, as always, I hope you guys liked it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.